Okay, guys, welcome to this special workshop on lives. So, there's been a lot of questions come into the Facebook group on lives and how to run them. So, I thought what we'd do today is we would run through them for you so you guys using the platform can sort of understand all the elements. And this video can then be used to put on our YouTube channel. Whenever that question comes up, we can say, go and have a look at that. It covers everything. Okay. So this is to sort of mop up those questions. When we see a flood of questions coming in, like, two a day or every other day a question comes in, it's on the same subject, we kind of jump on it pretty quickly, right? Because we want you guys to be able to run all your things that you can do, and also to answer those questions that Zenler can't do, right? Okay, so first thing is Zenler is not, when you use the Zenler calendar, it's not Calendly, right? Zenler does a lot of stuff and all the things get better all the time, but it's not Calendly, right? It's not built into your Calendly, is not built into our Zoom account, for instance. So you guys might realize that when you go on a Calendly and you've got it integrated with Zoom account, you can set up your timings and all those things, and when someone books, it automatically sets that Zoom up for them, and it's there. That's not how it works with Zenler, right? So that's one big thing to clear up here. So we put the calendar in there so people can see events. You can still book through the calendar, but you can't really jump around with dates and things like this. So it's just things to be aware of. Also to understand the differences between the live types. Now, in my eyes, there's really only two types. So there's the true webinar experience, which gives you limited what your participants can do and see inside the lives, and then there's things like the live classes, which are for courses primarily, one-to-ones, which can be put out to everybody, and they can also be put into courses as well. And then there's the interactive webinar. So difference between interactive webinar and the standard or true webinar is that there's a lot more options inside of the interactive webinar. So you can let people, for instance, you can make them co-host. You can let the audience turn their cameras on, unmute themselves, share screens if you want to. So there is a lot to kind of know and learn. And I always suggest to people, and this is something we say all the time, is test this stuff out. Even if you're testing it out on your own and you're logging yourself in as a student, not as admin. So I'm here to answer questions if they come into the chat as well, guys. I'm going to just jump on the Facebook page and just promote this little post here so that we've got stuff going on, right? So let me just put that into the featured area and just tab. Now, there was a mail that went out, but this is quite a big thing. So good to see you, Patricia. I can see there's quite a few people. I want to say hi in the chat. It's really good to see you. See you all if you're here today. So good to see Patricia in here. So lovely. Right. Okay. So we're all on there. We're all good. Right. So let me just tag everyone in so that, because it's a big subject, right? Lots of you are choosing Zenler for the live aspect, because it's powerful. We know lives are the highest converting way of getting people in. So Susan, hi. Good, you're loving it. So hopefully this will clear up any things you've got coming into this. So I'm going to just tag everybody. Then we can jump in. And I'm not, normally I would let you into the Zoom session, but because this is a little bit technical, the way this is set up, I'm running through another program so that I can open Zoom and show you all the settings, right? So less is all in the chat today when you guys are in here. I'm not going to answer questions till I've finished all my bits, Anne, as well. So all about lives, let me just send that out so that everybody gets a little ping of that if they haven't turned the pings off. Yeah, so lots of this stuff, we're going to cover when we go through it. So what you think's best and what the differences are, and what we choose here at Zenler most of our time. And I'll let you into a little secret. What we use for all of our workshops, pretty much everything we do is one-to-one bookings, right? This was mainly due to the fact that one-to-one bookings had this direct, we'll look at this later, direct Zoom link. And that means that you don't need to register. And we decided that we could take those one-to-ones and we could send it out in an automation funnel. So in a funnel, and obviously people have registered, and then we can send them a direct Zoom link and they can be frictionless. They can jump straight in there. You guys have been on the workshops, you know how it works. Very, very smooth and fluid. And that's why we choose one-to-one. However, since then, and about 3 months ago, I think the team introduced the direct Zoom link on pretty much all of the live types, which means that now I don't really have to use one-to-one, but I've got in a habit, so I'm carrying on, right? So one-to-ones to me are my little favorites, but now you can do the same thing with interactive. So one-to-ones are like interactive. This is the workings on Zoom, okay? So we're talking about the workings on Zoom. Once you start your session, Zoom comes up. We're not talking about what you do in the platform. We're just talking about Zoom. So you start a one-to-one session. You have all of the features that you have with an interactive webinar and a live class, right? The exception is the webinar, which is locked down more. It means that you can't, your participants can't like turn their cameras on and things like that. They can't see each other in the chat, in participants' views and things like that. And people like to use webinars to keep things anonymous, especially if it's a sensitive subject, so you can understand that people don't want their names up and things like this. So this is the difference between those two. And I'm not even talking really about live stream, because live stream is in there. And I think sometimes we at Zenler, we kind of put things in lots of different categories, like one-to-ones, live classes, interactive webinars, live streams. But in effect, live stream, right, can be done with any of the live types. You can live stream. You just have a look at the Zoom settings. We'll look at that when we go into it. But so I kind of look at live streams as never use them, ever use them. And one of the big reasons why I don't use live stream is also because you can't cloud record. So you can never keep a copy, which is okay. You can put it on Facebook, and as long as you download it in 30 days, you can get a copy of that. But when you're streaming into something like Facebook, the quality is not as good as the cloud recorded quality, right? It's straight from Zoom itself. So I always make sure I have cloud recording turned on, even if I'm not using the recording, just because sometimes you get people ask you like, oh, you know, have you got a clip of that, or can you, like, we do like a private session with someone, right, helping them out, then they might turn around and say, oh, have you got a recording of that, because I really want to take notes, or I want to take the transcript. And if you haven't turned the cloud recording on, you kind of messed, right? You can't get it back. So that's why I always turn it on. And Zenler doesn't penalize you on having cloud recordings, right? So why not? Sometimes people might say, can you turn it off? I don't want it recorded, which is fine. Even if you've got it recording inside Zoom, you can switch it off, right? You can switch it off. So you can do it from that level. But if the people want it, then you've got it. And that's why I always sort of do everything. And then I always say, like, it's being recorded, but you know, if you don't want it, it will be deleted out. So you're being absolutely transparent, but you haven't lost that information if you need it. I did it the other day when I was helping one of our instructors, Roger, out, and he had a particular question that wasn't really, it was more bespoke to him, right? So I was helping him out with it, and I had the cloud recording turned on. We never used it in the end, but if he had wanted it, I've got it and I could give it to him. So these are good things to think about when you're running this stuff, because we have a lot of people that actually run sessions they want recorded and they forget to hit that cloud recording tab, right? Which is brutal. It's brutal. We've had people almost crying on here going, can I get it back? Is there a way to get it back? No, it's up to you. No, we'll cover a few questions as we go through. This is quite relaxed, so Andrea, isn't live stream the only way to live stream to Facebook group? No, it's not, because you still have the same options that you have in the rest and more in all the other live types. So you've always got access to that custom live streaming, because obviously in Facebook now you've got to set up RMTP. You've got to put in the stream key and the URL to be able to stream, right? Same way that I'm here with you now. I just did that. It takes 2 minutes, right? So it's really quick to do. And we've got videos on that, Andrea. But no, absolutely it's not, right? So think about that next time you're running a live stream. Test it out. You know, again, I come back to that question. I'm probably going to say it about 20 times today. Test it. Try this stuff off. Don't just rely on us Zenler educators or other people in the community to help you. Actually just play around with it, right? You haven't got to give your links out to your registration. You haven't got to put it publicly on your web page. You know, even with the courses and things, you can make them secret. Go to that course, test it out as a student. Always test, right? Always test stuff going through. And it's even more important because, you know, I can tell you something like Andrea's live stream's not the only way and stuff, but you take a lot of information on, especially if you're learning this stuff, and you can forget things really easily. I think if you do it, you kind of get those problems happen, and you also see how it works, and you're like, I've got it now. And sometimes you don't need people like me to turn up and show you things because you've tested it. You know, that's basically what we're going to do today. We're just going to go through the live types and we're just going to test them and show you. And I'm going to say to you in some bits, I'm not going to show you how to set this live type up because it's exactly the same way as that live type. So there's no point in repeating myself to go through. It's just crazy, you know. So, oh, we got Roger here. So Roger's saying, yeah, oh, I think I deleted it, Roger. I'm sorry. Shouldn't have mentioned you, should I? Yeah, so right, is a live class interactive, like a live interactive webinar? Yeah, absolutely, Sarita. With the right, so the difference, right, between a one-to-one and a live class is both of those live types, right? Jot this down on a piece of paper. One-to-one and live classes can be put into a course. They have the same features as interactive webinar. In fact, all of those do. One-to-one, live class, interactive webinar, all have the same features, exactly the same features. But one-to-one and the live classes can be put inside a course. Okay? So, yeah, so hopefully that's good. So it's good you've got these questions coming in because I'm going to clear it all up so everybody knows, right? We're going to do a big thing of this as well. I'll probably do a blog post on it, splitting it all up. The power of AI now makes that so easy, doesn't it? Split everything up for you. So is a live class? Oops. Roger, oops! I should have shouted earlier. You should have, yeah. Right. Right. So Andrea, this is quite interesting though. So, I have been only doing that as it was. I was told. Who told you that? Who told you that? I'm going to tell them off. I tried it with a webinar and it didn't work 3 times. Yeah, I think webinars are kind of. Well, I think you can do it in webinars, right? It's the same thing. It's got the same settings, but we'll see. We'll see today. Maybe I'm wrong. I never use webinars. I never use the true webinars. So I always use interactive. We're going to look inside Zoom anyway when we look at these. So you're going to see. Yeah. So Anne's put, how would I do a live class for my course? Well, you know, one-to-one bookings, one-to-ones and live classes can be just dropped straight into your course. We're going to look at this in a second. And in my community at the same time. No, you can't do it at the same time, unfortunately, but you can put a post inside your community saying, well, I'm running a live, here's a link. It depends, are those people in that community in the course, right? Because there's a ton of branching questions that could come off the back of this, Anne, and it'd be impossible for me to give you every single variation. So be very specific in the questions you ask in the chat. Otherwise I can go off route and it won't get you your question answered, Anne. So you need to be very specific on the flow of your students through anything. Okay, so let's get on with this. And let's jump in and have a look at the lives. So I'll be jumping around a little bit today. Let me just close that off and let me jump into main stage. Okay, we're on the main stage. So whilst I'm in the pages like this, guys, I'm probably not going to look at the comments because I can't see both. Actually, tell a lie, I can throw it on my third monitor. This is why it's good to have a third monitor, right? So you can just throw it over and I can see you guys up there. You're up there now. Right, let's go back. Boosh, right. Okay, so I will be able to see you. Okay, right. Okay, so when you come into your lives, right, you understand that the live area is in here. So there's a little other live area, and that's in the community. So inside a community, you can live stream, right? And inside your own Zenler community, right? So this is something we added not that long ago. And live streaming, you can live stream, it takes so quick. It's like 3 seconds. After it's finished, you can then grab the recording as a download. So you can grab those files, it saves it into the cloud, right? Which is super, super cool. The caveat on the live stream currently is you won't be able to do it like an interactive webinar. So you won't be able to have everybody have their camera on or unmute themselves, right? So at the moment, it could change, you know, we could change the way it works, but it's solely for you to come on there. You could have one attendee with you, so one co-host if you wanted to. You can see chat real time, so that's good as well. But you can't have people have their cameras come up, so that's just one caveat, but it's super, super cool. So you want to do announcements about a new course in your community or something you're giving away or what you're doing, you can just go live and you can just do it super, super quickly. So I love the live stream feature. It's super cool. Right, so this is the calendar here. So this calendar, by the way, can be put into pages. So sometimes I'm going to open 2 tabs, right hand click, open new tab. That means I can jump between things. I just want to show you this block, this calendar block, and that you can put it into any page. So I'm just going to jump into any old page that I've got here. This is a test site. I'm going to just edit that page. I just want to show you what a calendar block is so you guys can see. Right, so here we go. So this is my about page, and it's not really an about page, it's just a dummy page that we've set up. And if we go into blocks, you're going to see that we have live calendar here. So this calendar you could drop into any page. Did I say that? And we're not just talking any page, we're talking any page, so that means marketing funnel pages as well, right? Just to think about it. So marketing pages, you could have lives in there. So at the moment you can see our page. If we click save to that, I've just dropped that block, so it's under block live calendar, right? You're going to see it in there, live calendar. There's a block there, right? And that's gone in there, and you can modify it a little bit, but it's kind of set in stone the way it works, right? So you can change some of the colors in here and things, but you can't go too crazy with this stuff, right? You can just sort of do this kind of stuff. So just to lock it all in position, so you could put a background color, so I could put that in there or something and change it to that, and you can get a nicer kind of look to it. So this is nothing on here at the moment, but when you start to add your lives, they start to appear inside here, which is good, right? So this is our calendar block. You can put it into any pages. Did you guys know that? Did you know that you can put the calendar block into a marketing funnel page, into pages within your site? Or did you think, because you know inside the site itself you've got a page that Zenler creates for you, and unless I've deleted it, and it's called calendar there. Did you know? But you can actually take that block and you can put it in there. So we look at that calendar block, it's just the calendar in the page, the kind of the same as I've got here, except I've added stuff around it. So that's what that calendar page is. Oh, good, Linda. So you didn't know that. It's good that you know that, right? Because we're covering every little bit here. Right. Okay. So we'll be having a look at this calendar as we sort of add these lives, because I want to show you how it updates in here. But just to have a look at the calendar, you've got in pink here, you've got one-to-one booking. So that means that when you add a one-to-one booking, it's public. It will appear in pink, little pink. So this is kind of like a little color key guide. So it shows you live classes are in this blue, light blue. Then you've got navy blue for live webinars. Live interactive webinars are kind of this other kind of blue. And then live streams are green, and registered sessions are red in there. So registered sessions, these show up for the users that have registered for that session. Right. Also, there's a grey. So when a webinar's finished, it goes a grey colour, right? It means it's finished. You can't get back in there. So another thing people don't realise is that you can view this stuff by like list or day or week up here. And you can scroll through the months there. So it's a whole little system. Any upcoming lives also start to get filled out over here. So they start to appear here. So people can click on these as well. And if you've got loads of them, you can scroll down. There's a little scroll there. So this is really kind of cool. But the other thing that's really good about it is it adapts to the time zone that people are on. So if I put 12 o'clock on here, it could go to, 8 a.m. in the US or something, right? So that appears on there so they can see it. So this is another little good thing that you guys didn't know probably. And so it's good. It's a little calendar. It works, but it is no Calendly, right? So let me make that clear. It's our calendar, and we're probably going to add more to this, but it's not as versatile as, say, Calendly, and rightly so, right? Because Calendly, that's all it does. That's all it's for, right? So Zenler's got all these powerful features built into it, and even if you've got Calendly, you still got to have a Zoom subscription. With Zenler, you've got the calendar here. Okay, it's a simple calendar, but you've also got lives built in for no extra cost, right? So this is the bonus of being on Zenler. Okay, right. So calendar covered. Check. Any questions on calendar before I move on? And we'll be looking at it further. Yeah, so Linda, so everything I have will be on the calendar, not necessarily, right? We're going to look at that in a minute. So let's go now to our live area in our site. So lives there. And let's just have a look. So I had said to you before, one-to-one bookings, live classes can be put into courses, right? I told you that, and we're going to do it. Live webinars are kind of a restricted way to run webinars, so people don't see each other. You don't put the camera on. It's basically for you to do like I'm doing here, a webinar with chat interaction that you can even turn off. But it's very kind of like you're doing a presentation. You have attendees in there. They're not coming in and asking questions, only in the chat. So that's what the live webinar is. Live interactive webinar has the same features that live class, one-to-one bookings, but live interactive webinar, you cannot put into courses. Right, is that really clear? Crystal clear. Give me a yay if it's clear. Yeah, so Sarita's put in there, I just want to answer this one quickly. Do we have access to cloud recording straight or after X hours? Yeah, it's after. It's processed by Zoom. If you have your own Zoom account, then you'll know that if you've run a live in your own Zoom account, it takes some time before it appears. That's exactly the same as Zenler. And depending on how long that live is, depends on how long Zoom takes to process it. It's nothing to do with us, right? It's to do with Zoom. So they process the cloud recording when it's finished processing. It's just like YouTube, right? You upload a big long video into YouTube, and it can take an hour before it's processed, right? mainly quicker, but if you upload a huge file, it can take a long time. So that's what happens. It also depends on what you've recorded it at. So if you've recorded it at like HD, then it's going to be quicker than high HD or those sort of things. Or if you've done a screen share on a 4K monitor, it's going to be a bigger file size, it's going to take bigger, it's going to take longer to upload. But generally I say to you that after a live's finished, this is what I kind of do. I think 2 hours after that I go and check, right? And it's uploaded, it's normally there in the cloud recording, or I wait till next morning or 4 hours later, right? You'll notice that sometimes our replays we put up a bit later, and that's generally because we're not watching for when it processes. We're kind of leaving it to the next day, and then we know it's there. We don't have to waste time, and we can just upload it to a replay page. So always tell your members that the replay will be up the next day, right? Give them that time, give yourself that time, because with us here at Zenler, we process our videos, so we edit them, we cut the beginning off, we make sure that the content, that there's no sort of waffle going on in the content or questions in there that are not related to it. We have to cut all that out and edit it, and then we upload the cloud recording. All right. Yeah, absolutely, Andrea. I'm on got three monitors. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So you're on there, right? I'm screen sharing on there, and no there, and I'm seeing myself on there, right? So yeah, it's just a multi monitor setup, which I can't live without. I can't work now just on a one-on-one monitor. I gave that up a long time ago. But I don't want, it's just too hard, right? And clumsy. It's a bit clumsy working just with one. It's not smooth. Right, okay, let's jump into this. Right, okay, so I've already told you interactive webinars are there, live class, one-to-one bookings. These can be put into a thing. The way we set everything up in here is exactly the same for everything, right? So that's cut my work down by 4. Right, so let's set up a one-to-one booking. Now remember, live class, right, that goes into a course. So if you want to be doing this stuff, doing for social media, getting people in, and you want to be getting people in via social media, or you want to be promoting it outside of a course, then probably don't use live class, right? Leave live class in a course, right? So that's the third thing I think I've told you, right? So live class, keep in a course, right? It's the same as interactive webinars. It's got all the ability of interactive webinars, one-to-one bookings, but keep live class in a course, right? One-to-one bookings, I told you, like I could do live interactive webinars now, and I could use that for presentations and for getting people into from social media, but I tend to use one-to-one bookings. So literally for me personally, live interactive webinars no longer exist. Right, to me personally, live webinars don't exist because I want interaction in my lives, right? But in some cases you might want to use it if you have a delicate subject, which I think I already told you, right? So also understand that the live types that you're running, and I told you one-to-one bookings, live class, interactive webinars have the same ability. You can lock people down. So when you guys come into my workshops, you notice that you can't turn the camera on, you can't unmute yourself, you can't share screen. It's because I've locked it down. So you have that ability anyway to do that. The only reason that you would use the webinars if you want to be anonymous, if you want participants want to be anonymous, they don't want to be on camera, they don't want to unmute themselves, and I'd say it's very it's common, especially for therapy and these kind of things. You know, if you've got group sessions, it could be really common. Anything sensitive subject, I would say use live webinar. For the rest, I would say just use one-to-one booking. So I've made your life really easy here. Right? I've said to you, the only live type you're probably going to use, unless it's sensitive, is one-to-one bookings. So because one-to-one bookings can also be put in courses, but they can also be promoted on their own. So I've made your life really easy now, that most of the time you're not really going to use live classes, live webinars, unless it's a sensitive, delicate subjects, live interactive webinars, and live streams. It means you don't have to use any of those. All right, so that's a good thing, isn't it? You've got to be happy about that. All right. But on saying that, if you wanted to color code things, and we do that here at Zenler, is you might want your one-to-one bookings to be in, or you might not want the name one-to-one bookings to be in the calendar. So in that case, you might want to run all your lives as live interactive webinars, right? It depends the case study, because remember, live interactive webinars cannot be put in a, say the word on there. They can't be put in a, there's a bit of a lag. It's a 10-6. It's not really instant for, it's not like my people in the Zoom session. I'm sure you're going to get it, right? I'm going to put it in. Yes, hey, Katerina, yeah. Can't be put in a course, because the only things that can be put in a course are the one-to-one bookings and live, right, Linda? So I know you did it at the time, but there's this lag. Right, so we've got that cleared up. Right, so let's jump in. Let's do one-to-one bookings. Remember, the one-to-one booking setup is going to be the same as the live class, the live webinar, live interactive webinar, right? So we're going to click one-to-one bookings. You're going to see that I've got one set up in here. So when we're in this area, it's really good place to be, because you can see the visitors that are coming through these and the registrations that you've got and the sales. Now it does it through all of them, all right? So you can pick here the date of the lives that are showing. So if I have some in the next 7 days, I can show the next 7 days, but after that it won't show any other. So this is a really good little filtering system. And also, if you've got hundreds of lives, it's really good in here to search. So like for us, for instance, if we was on the tutorial site, I was put live support, only the live support videos would come up. So I would see them in there. So the search functionality is in here. The overview, I'm going to just jump back up to here. You can also filter in there as well, and down to a custom range. So you can see upcoming sessions and previous sessions that you've done as well. So they show up previous sessions. You can see it shows completed in there. And if we go to the one-to-one booking again, we can create a new one by clicking here. So I'm going to jump into one that's already made. So I'm going to click this, and inside here, I just want to show you what happens. Like if I had turned cloud recording on, I could come in here and it's going to give me the cloud recording so I can download them, right? So that doesn't appear when you're setting it up, by the way. It's only when you've run it, and after you've run it does the cloud recording become available to you. So there'll be nothing in there until you've run the session. And some people get confused. And to be honest, I've been worried before where I've run a very important live like this and put a lot of time and energy into it. And then I've gone in there like an hour or 2 hours after, and I click the cloud recording, nothing's gone in there. And I'm like, oh, did I, I'm sure I clicked the cloud recording. So it happens to everybody. So get in the habit of locking it down, maybe do some bullet points as you're moving through. So in this is already run. We got the topic that we had here, when you're going to run it, the time zone, really important to get that time zone right. This gives the registration URL as well, so where people would register to join the live. Now it's a one-to-one, so I can put it into a course. We've also got this magical little button that's always been available on the one-to-ones, and this is share your link for instant joining. So this means they don't have to register, right? So you can send that link out, people can jump straight in when the timer hits 0 and they can jump in. So it's very cool. Maximum registrants based on your plan, 300 participants for your pro account and 500 on your premium account. And you have a thing called Zoom provider. So if you have your own Zoom, you can use that. But remember, if you use your own Zoom, your limitations on your Zoom plan come into effect, right? So if you can only run an hour maximum on your personal Zoom, that's as long as you're going to be able to run it for. When you use Zenler Zoom, you've got access to be able to run up to 4-hour extended sessions, right? So bear that in mind. That's a question that comes up as well. Also, if you're using your own Zoom, you will not be able to use the cloud recording that's inside of here, right? Because it's your own Zoom account, so your own Zoom account should cloud record that. So it's a way of still using the system with your own Zenler, with your own Zoom account, separate from Zenler, but it's all separate. But the advantage of running it from your own account is you can do things like add apps in there and things like this, some of the little things that you can't do with Zenler. Right. So next, when it sets the live types up, it always creates pages. So you can go and you can customize these pages. You'll also have the option, because you can charge for lives, right? So you can charge for these lives and you can then send them through a checkout process to charge. You can set up automation. So people come in and it's automated so that they get their automations, telling them where to go and all these things. You can see the registered users by clicking here, and of course you can go to the cloud recording by clicking here. All right, so that's how it is after it's all run, and we'll now set one up from here. So let me have a look at the questions while they're in there. So Louise has put, I'm doing a training session with live class now and I need 2 phones connected. Would this also be better? Sorry, I don't understand. 2 phones connected. What 2 phones in what way? Remember, this is Zoom, right? So I'm connected. If I was connected on Zoom here, I can't go in as, I think you can go in as a different user, but it kind of messes things up. You'd have to add yourself as a co-host or something. You'd have to go in on your phone, add yourself as a co-host so that you could share content from phone if you wanted to. That's a way of doing it. So you could do that, but to use the same account, I don't know, could be tricky, could cause some problems. Right, my class, right, okay, my class is interactive, so a live class won't work, therefore. My class is a course. My classes in the course will be interactive, so a live class won't work, therefore I chose live interactive webinar. My class is in a course. Yeah, so you can't use live interactive webinar in a course. We just said that. How do I automate the addition of the course registrants to live interactive webinar? I don't understand. Sorry, I don't understand the question, Sarita. That's a strange one. We said, yeah, we said that already. Oh, right, Katrina. So you're using your phone as an overhead camera. Yeah, I guess you could just have another account, register in on another account on your phone, and then you could use it and have it as a co-host, and then you could share it top. Or you could do something like I do with OBS, and you could switch to different cameras. You're going to see it in a minute. I'm going to have a different camera come up on mine. So like this, for instance, you know, I'm switching scenes here. I could switch to a different webcam that's above my artwork, and then I can show it that way. I would definitely say, Katrina, look into OBS. This will be a lifesaver for you and make things really, really easy, right? For that, but you could do it. Do the cloud recordings ever expire? Mazumba, that's all right. You're welcome. Not to my knowledge, but you should be grabbing it, right? You should be grabbing that those recordings, right? You should, because it's like, if it's old content, I have a clear out. Like, now is my time for clearing out files, as Rakesh knows. I have a massive filing. I clear out literally everything. It's just I put it on my drive. It's there, it's archived, but I get it off my computer. I get it away, so it's just in one of my 10 boxes that I've got with backups. I'm a little bit obsessive that way, but no, but I would say that what's the point of having it if you're never going to download it, you know? So I would always download it, check if there's anything I can use for my socials, anything I can cut out of it, whether I can repurpose it for some course content. This is what you should be doing all the time with the material. So it should never remain stagnant and stay on a site, I don't think. Right, okay, I'm going to move on. Right, so you saw me set this up. Let me just go back here. Let me get into this. Right, so create a one-to-one booking. Right, this is the same for live classes as well. You can come in here, create a live class. You can come into live webinar, create a live class. Right, the same thing, create a live interactive webinar. So the same thing here. In here, I'm going to go and create this one-to-one booking. And I'm going to go in here and call it, let's call it Zenler Family, right? So we do something like that. That's nice. Right, okay. And then we're going to go and just follow these steps. So pick your topic you're going to use. Should be impactful topic to get people in. Then you want to go change the course card. So by the way, it gives you a size here of 860 by 480. That's HD. That's actually 1920 by 1080. This is the size I always use. So then you're going to pick your little card like this. It's going to crop it. You can crop it down. We're going to move it to the edge. This is exactly the right size. It's HD. It's 1920 by 1080. It's the size I use for literally everywhere in Zenler. Write it down. Write it down. 1920 width by 1080 height. It can be used in so many places inside Zenler. Right, so regardless if they say 860, 480 in these things, don't worry about that. Just drop it in there and everything will be like perfectly sized. Look, you can see I can bring this to here, and if I bring it right to the edge, it's the full size of what I've got here, right? So it's exactly the right size. So always use that size for starters. And then we're going to click crop and save. So then it's going to save our little card. So we need to save a little card because on the registration page, that is what shows. Yeah, 1920 by 1080. That's high HD, right? So it's the HD. It's the golden size, golden rectangle size for this stuff, right, that we're doing. So HD size or high HD, which is 1920 by 1080. Okay. Right. Okay. So let's now move on. This is really important bit. So I'm not going to answer any questions yet. Right. So next, single session. Here we go. Users will be able to register to only one scheduled event at a time. So it's a single session. Here, recurring session. Here we go. Users will be able to attend all the reoccurring sessions with a single registration. So if we have it set up on 3 reoccurring sessions, and I'm going to look at all the settings in a second, it means that if someone registered, say Patricia registered, she would get access to all 3. So it's like a set, it's like a group set. Could be a really good thing if you're running a summit and you've got a group of people coming in there for a day event every day for 5 days, right? Could be really good for that. So some people say reoccurring is really good because you've got all these options to set up multiple occurrences, but people have access to everything, and they do. But you could, if you wanted to, after a live's finished, you could go and filter those people and unenroll them, and then have a new lot of people come in, right? So this is where it gets a little bit confusing with some of these things. But we're going to look at single session first, because single session, users will be able to register only one scheduled event at a time. So we're going to set this up. Say I want to run it on Friday. I want to run it at 12 o'clock, okay, 12 p.m. And I want my time zone. This is important as well. Put your time zone in there. Guys, if you're in the UK, always choose Europe and London. Don't use the plus GMT thing that they've got down here. All this stuff, it's just confusing. Just put Europe and London, right? Then you put your maximum registrants in here. So you probably put all of them. Choose your Zoom provider. Zenler Zoom, probably you're going to use. And then we got the duration. So you can see our durations. You can do 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and right the way down the extended sessions. 1 hour 45 to 2 hours, and we've got the super extended down to 4 hours. So enterprise level Zoom. So some of you won't have these in your personal Zoom accounts, right? So I'm just going to set that on 15 minutes. And this is one that's a little bit confusing for people. You can actually ask for a password. So if I put a password in here, I could put a password. And you need to remember that if people register, include the password in the automated email, right? This is something I never use, I'll be honest. I just choose inbuilt password protection. It's just in there. So it just looks at the registers. So this is now set up with one session. There's a massive thing down here, automatic cloud recording. If you want it cloud recorded, make sure you check it at this stage, especially with reoccurrings, because once they start, you can't turn it off later. Right, that's a big thing. So if you want it cloud recorded, even if you don't want it cloud recorded, but you think you might use it, check it, turn it on. Right, we've got some additional settings down here where this is quite good. This is something we don't really talk about. You can close the registration before the event. So if you wanted to call some urgency, you can say registration closing on this date at this time, and you could close it. So even if you had it set for Friday, I could close this down like 12 hours or look, we got hours or days, 12 hours before, 24 hours before, a day before the event. So people got in, you can close that registration. So it means after it's closed, no one can register for it, right? So you've got your people in there. You can say allow registration until the end of the session. So this again is if you've got a 4-hour session and you still want to keep it open so people could drop in, probably not for a paid event, they want to see it all. But you might want to allow that registration to come in so that people could drop in like 1 hour in, right? Or 2 hours in, whatever you set. So that is really useful information. Did you guys know that you had that down there? It's kind of hidden away a little bit. Let me know. Yeah, let me know in the chat there. So remember some of these questions. If you've asked a question, right, I'm going to ask you later to put your questions in and you can jump in. So with that done, what I've done is I've set up a single session. It's going to take place on Friday at 12 p.m. Put the time zone, registrants, my Zoom provider, Zenler Zoom, pretty much, the duration, and I've got cloud recording turned on. So last thing down here is this, right? So this is Katrina, I think you put this. So public live classes will be visible to all on the calendar and upcoming live class block, right? Calendar. An upcoming live class block, which we haven't looked at yet. I'm going to show you. We got secret. Live classes will not be visible to anyone on the calendar. So you want to be setting it to secret if you don't want anyone to see it on the calendar. So this doesn't mean that it's hidden. It just means that it's secret. So it means that only people that you give a link to, so if you're driving people from social media, you'll give them the link. They can come in, they can see it, they can book, they can register. But it does mean that it doesn't show up on your site anywhere, right? So it doesn't have to be. So only students with direct registered links to live class can register. So it can be put into your live lessons and people can just click and book. And also you got down here, so live class, so courses, right? Live is pretty obvious that what this is, but it's live classes will be visible only to students who have enrolled in selected course or plans on the calendar and upcoming live class block. So it's all about the courses, right? If they're not a member, they're not going to see it. So you can turn these on and then you can pick the course in here and you can pick inside here. You can also pick the plan. So this, like for instance, right, let me go down here. There we go here. So this is 2 price plans in here. So if I put that, I could say only for that. And then they'll get the notification, right? So they'll be able to register for that because they're part of that, okay? So that is a really good thing to do as well. Most of the time you're probably gonna, unless it's live classes and you're gonna put them in a class, you probably use the public if you're using it for marketing purposes. Keep it on public. So public will definitely show on the calendar. But we can try this stuff out anyway. So here we go. So I'm going to leave all these off and we're going to re-look at this because this is a single session, but we can set up multiple single sessions in the same thing. Now I do that by clicking add to schedule, but I don't have to do it at this stage, right? I can do it later if I want to. So this is good for you to know as well. So I'm going to click next and it's going to go, right, okay, that's great, set up. So you're going to pick one of your default templates, right? One of those, and we're going to click finish. So now what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to go through your pages. So it's set the pages up. So if we just preview this page now, this is what it looks like. It's giving me my time, my date, someone can register, book a class. But obviously you're going to need to change all this information. And the great thing about Zenler is it allows you to clone. So we've really only got to do this once to set the format for us. You're going to notice there's a register page. That's what we just looked at. There's a checkout page. This is if you've added pricing to it. Okay, they're going to run through that. They're going to register, check out, and then they're going to go to thank you page. So if you don't have pricing, it's going to jump from the register page straight down to the thank you page, bypassing the pricing page. Is that clear? And then once they go there, they've got a waiting page, which tells them. So they're registered at this point. So this is here, they're registered. So when this hits 0, this will only be available to people that are registered. They'll be able to click enter the live class to go in there, right? So that showed there's a placeholder video. Again, it's really important that you format these pages. And lastly, we have a replay page. So replay page doesn't get shown anywhere. It's just for you to set up in the automated emails and give them the link. So you'll put your replay into this page and you'll copy this. And in the automations after the event has happened, you'll send an email to them saying, here's the replay. Go and enjoy it, you know. So yes, when someone registers, they go through this process, and when they have registered, then your automated emails come into effect. Okay, is that really clear? So I want to go in quickly and just format these pages in here. So I'm going to go in here, and it uses the page builder, so you can build these pages out. Right, it's pretty simple. They've got blocks in here. You can replace them out. You can delete the blocks out. If we're not using pricing, we can delete it out. I'm going to leave it in for now just so that you can see. But it's pretty much all here. And then we're going to go in here. It's going to take that name, Zenler Family, from the live. Yeah, because it's a little dynamic block. This is all pretty standard inside here. You can go in and change certain things like the text color, but we've kept it all pretty much so you can't touch it too much because it's quite integral part of it. We can swap this out certainly for our image that we've got. So I've got that image here. I can drop that in there. So let me upload with outcrop. Notice it's the same resolution. There we go. So it's in there. And pricing, you can swap out the back images for this as well if you wanted to. So if you've got a nice background color or something like that, you know, you can change those colors out. Probably wouldn't use that. Let me use something. I don't think I'm gonna just put it into a background color. So I can click in there a few times and just delete that out. And then I can just choose a color like this. Of course, you can replace this with your image if you want to. It's got to be square, by the way, guys. To get this to work, it's got to be square. So make sure you do that in Canva. Maybe a size of 500 by 500 would work, or slightly bigger. And if we go in there, I'll show you what happens if I use a rectangular one. So if I use a rectangular one, look, it goes like this. Okay, it's just because of the angle of what's going on, so it does it like this. So if I want this to be perfectly square, I cut this out as square, right, and put it in there. just so that you guys know. So I think I've got some square images in here somewhere. I think that's quite square there. So I could put that in there, change the name. These blocks in here are microscopically small. I don't like them at all. I'd probably redesign this whole block, but you can just go in and delete those out if you want to, if you don't want to touch it too much. And that's it. So let me click save, and then you're going to go through the rest of the pages. So remember, if this is public and you're promoting it, to go and set your SEO up. So you'd put like Zenler family get together live. Okay, and then you'd write a little bit about it. A chance to find out all about the live feature in Zenler, right? And then so write a little bit more, and then inside here you're going to put the keywords for it. So you might want to be write something like Zenler lives, comma, straight away put running lives, Zoom for free. Just put about 4 of them in there, okay, separated by a comma. Okay, and meta keywords aren't used a lot, but they are still kind of used in some of the platforms, right? And it doesn't hurt to add those things in there. So next we've got the social media image, and this is a big one that people miss. So I'm just going to upload that, and this then gives me a lovely preview. So when you post your links of your site or your marketing funnels and it doesn't look right to you, it's probably because you haven't gone and changed the SEO settings. And this is really common. It happens all the time. So notice also showing search results. So we keep that checked on so that it does. That way, if the page is indexed by Google or anything, then, and it's not a private page, right, you haven't made it secret or any of those things, then it could be picked up by the search engine. So it's good for you, right? So we're going to click done to that. It's done. By the way, if you accidentally close it, a lot of people get that pop up and they just close it because they're like, oh, I don't know what that is, just close it. And you need to get to it. It's always going to be on that top little arrow. And this goes for your pages as well, and marketing funnel pages. And it's always going to be there. So you can always get that back and change it. So check through all your pages of the site and just go like that. And just make sure that it's all as you want it to be, because that's what shows when you post it to social media, right? So once you click save to that, we can jump to the next pages. So you can either come down here and edit, or if you're in this page, you can click the little drop down and go to the next part of the funnel, which is the checkout. So I haven't got any payments in here at the moment, so I'm going to bypass that. So we're going to go to the thank you page. Notice it's put the little image. So this is the thank you page. So again, you might want to change this text in here. You might want to replace the video. If you don't have a video, what I like to do is delete this out, and then I just like to drop the image that I created here, drop it in there like that. That's pretty cool. And you should be able to go through these bits and just change some of the colors. So again, the SEO page has come up, so fill it out. So if we go in here this time, you can see I can change things a little bit in here. Go to here and change these colors around. You know, it's got a border around it as well. So you've got a little bit of control in here to change things around. So you just need to click around, coach stuff up there, change that or delete it out. I'm going to delete it out. Right, that's my register page. So click save to that. Come down to the waiting page now. And again, it's just follow through with all these things. So you can spend quite a bit of time getting this to be perfect. And think generic, right? Think, right, okay, that's the format I want to use for all of my live types, right? For this particular type. And then think generic on it. Think, right, okay, that's good. That's going to work for the next live I'm going to run, and the live after that, and the live after that. Because what we're going to do is we can clone it. So if we clone it, it means that we don't have to do all this work formatting it. So you can spend a long time doing this, getting it perfect, but you don't have to touch it again, right? So you can go in, delete the bits out you want, add your new bits in there, and it's all going to look really cool at the end of it. So you'll go through there, get rid of that again, and you'll add what you want. and we click save. That's the waiting page. So again, come now to the replay page. So the replay page, let me just save that again. Let's go to the replay page, and the replay page will be the page that you send out to people after the live's done. So your cloud recording will be recorded. You will go into your live, download the cloud recording, probably edit it. Some people don't, but the whole point here is that you go to this video and then you click on the little icon there, you upload your video, and it will replace the video that's in there, the placeholder video. Okay, so I don't like that horrible big black line around it. I think it's awful. So I take it down a bit, right? Or even get rid of it. Okay, so that's it. Put what it's about inside there. And that's it. That's the replay link. So once you save that, you set your pages up. So you need to spend a bit of time setting those up so they look nice. And that's good. That's all done. So let's go and have a look at this now. So we got this set up. I'm going to just preview this now. So this is the page here. If there's a pricing, it'll be set up. So that's the page we set up. They go, okay, that's good. Book a class. It's going to go through to this. So you're going to then add your email address, register for free, and it's going to run through the rest of the pages. So it's going to go to the thank you page then. That's going to tell you there. You can jump straight into it there. And remember that you're going to be sending automations to go out with this as well. I'm going to take you through that in a second. Someone's registered. They've left your site page. You need to be reminding them before the event. So next one is the waiting page here. This is basically a countdown. So just count down to when it's there. And lastly, we've got the replay page there where you're going to send people out to. Okay, so let's now look at the other part, which is the automations inside here. So once you've got your pages set up, you've got your bookings in here, and you've got your pages set up, you'll then want to send out your automations, right? So let me just have a look at the pricing first and just show you quickly what happens there. So if I add a new pricing, it's exactly the same as the pricing for the courses, right? There's no difference. So if I put $100 in here, take this live workshop, leave by now, it's just pretty much the same. And we're going to click, and we can add multiple plans, by the way. So I'm going to click add to that. I have a payment gateway in here, so it works. So now I just want to have a look at how this looks now when we come into that. So I've added a price now. So inside there, book a class. You can see it comes straight into my checkout. So I need to fill these details out to pay to come into this. So it's added, it hasn't bypassed that step now. You can see also that the pricing is down here. If you click here, it again go to the checkout page. And then the next page it will take you to, you guessed it, it's not the checkout page. It will then go to the thank you page, right? So that's how the pricing works in there as well. So automation's a really important part of this. So you're going to see that we've set some things up for you by default, but you should always go and make these your own. So if we click the little pencil icon, you'll see that it's after, so 0 after from registration or payment. Okay, you can then send an email out, and we give you a lot of personalizations to add in here. Topic, what it's about, when it is, the join link. Join link's really important. They click it, they can go through to that waiting page, right? So let me show you where those automations are, just in case you accidentally delete them out like I do. Whoops, I deleted them. Let's go into personalization in here, and these are all the personalizations we can add. So these are things that get automatically filled in. So when someone comes in and they register, they put their name, right? They put their email. You've already given it a topic, you've given it a scheduled time, and it's created a join link. So it's also, if you've got a booking host, the mailing address and the unsubscribe link, these two have to be inside your mail, right? They're the only two that actually have to be in the mail. Because of GDPR, you need a mailing address and an unsubscribe link. So if I was going to put the topic, I would drop that one in there. That's the name of it. So I could put name, right? And then I could put when. and then drop another personalization in there. So when's the scheduled time, and join. Now join link. So again, personalization in there, and that's the all important join link there. So that's what it's done. It also adds a little calendar thing if you've got this checked here. So it means they can add it to their calendar, right? And we've got the mailing address and the unsubscribe in the footer. We don't really need to touch that. And it gives the host there. So let's just preview this now. I'm going to preview this. And this is what it gives you. It gives you the join link, the time, what it's about. It tells my host, because it's taken that from my profile name. Now, sometimes you don't want that, right? So I might not want that. I might want to get rid of that and put inside here. So I can just select it, clear it out, and I might want to put Team Zenler. So you don't have to use the personalization if it doesn't work for you, but you certainly need to put the join link in there, the time and what it's about. So now if I preview this, we're going to have Team Zenler at the bottom, okay? So nice and easy. So your automations, when it's going to go from registered time, okay, so 0. So I want to make a point here. This is set for 12 o'clock at 12 p.m. If I've got one set for 12 o'clock on Friday, one set for 12 o'clock on Saturday, and one set for 12 o'clock on Sunday, if they join the Sunday one, they won't receive this email. They will receive the email straight away, but the link will be for the Sunday's workshop, right? So don't be worried. If you set this up correctly, then it should work. But I always say test it, okay? So this is just a simple send mail. And if we look under the actions, you've got send mail. So if I wanted to create the same, I could do that. You could also add a tag. So you might want to add a tag to tag them so that you know. You might want to remove a tag. So sometimes, like, you might say, well, why do you have remove a tag? Surely it's just add a tag. But say there's this thing. Say if someone comes into one of your events and they're going to take a second event, and you want to, basically they're level 1, right? And then they take your second event, so they become level 2. And you might want to remove the tag level 1. So when they first attended, they got a tag of level 1. And then they come into a second one, they've advanced to level 2. You might want to add a tag level 2, remove a tag level 1. Do you see what I mean? So you can control that tagging when people come into system, right? So next one here is send a webhook. So these are special URLs that send information. So with Zenler, it sends an outgoing webhook. And this means that you can send it to things like Zapier. And you could then, Zapier could handle that and put that into a Google spreadsheet. So all you've got to do is go into Zapier, set up webhook, it'll give you a URL, you'll put it in there, and then it'll basically send the information to Zapier, and you'll tell it what you want it to do with that information, so where you want to put it. So you might want to put it into a Google Sheet, right, for instance. So that's what a webhook does, basically. It's outgoing, right? These webhooks are not incoming. So notify admin, this is one that I'm asked all the time, and this is really cool because you can be notified. So this only goes to you as the admin, right? So let me just save the changes to this, and I've got that notify admin, and this is going to go to you. So mail subject, if you've got more than one, like I've got other admins in here, I could send this to Kevin, right? I could notify him. So I'm going to send it to myself. And inside here, I can put something like, yay, I got a registered user, okay? And then I can go the details. So I can go, right, what was their name? What was their email? What was it for? And then put it, what was it for, the topic there. And that will now send to me. So someone joins in. So say TL Mazunda, right? He joins and he puts his name in there, his email. Then he'll get this reminder email here. He'll get with the link and everything. But I will receive this one saying, TL Mazumba, email address, and he's booked for my Zenler family live, and then I'll receive that myself. So this doesn't go to anyone else. So you can put what you like in here, right? Because you're going to get it. So once you save that, then and you go, yep, make it live. That's an important aspect. Make sure these are green, okay, and they're live. Definitely check this stuff as well. So once you set something up, register yourself as a student and check that you're receiving this information. So booking reminder sequence. So again, we have here, you can send a mail. So if I go send a mail for this book a reminding sequence inside here, you can set up more mails to go before or after. To be honest, I delete this out and I just do it all from the register mail sequence, right? Because you can set it up in here. It's the same. It's just you're breaking it. Think of these little blocks. Like if I create a new one here like on register, right? It'll create another block. See that? Now there's 3. So I can add an action in there. So if you think of these blocks like a course, sections and lessons inside, except sections and emails inside, So you could do it all from the same one. But in this case, I always kind of remove these and I set my whole sequence up inside here just to make my life easier. Just have the sequence in here. Sometimes I might turn them off and create a new group, you know, a new section here, because I might want to rerun it in a different month, like a different quarter. So it might be like spring, and then I want to run one in summertime. So I might have a different group sequence going through there. Sometimes you can do that, because remember, it does give you analytics on who's opened it, who's come in. So you can almost use it to split things off and see numbers that are coming through, right? But that's automations. So what we're talking about now is self-contained, right? This live area, this has a self-contained system. You're able to set up your bookings, you're able to charge people for them, set up pages and set up automations all inside the live. So it's fully formed. We created a one-to-one booking, so we can also drop it into a course. And that's what we're going to look at just after I do one last thing. So let's jump back to our booking details now and say we want to add one for, like, I want to Saturday and Sunday. So I'm going to go add schedule. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to go right Saturday the 6th, 12 p.m. That's good. That's good for me. I'm going to add another one. I'm going to go, okay, Sunday, and I want it 12 p.m. Now I've set 3 schedules under the same live, right? So there they are there. So let's now have a look at the page and see what happens. So let's go into the pages now and go to our register page. So I'm going to preview this. And now you're going to have this list. So you can pick your dates, right? Now, I could change the timing of this as well. So let me do that. Let me just show you. This is what I love about it, right? So it's great because you can just go and you can play around with these things and have some fun. So let's make this 4 p.m. on this Sunday one. Let's update. Let's see what happens. I'm going to jump back in here. I'm going to hit refresh. I'm holding the control key and I'm hitting refresh. And now if I go to Sunday, it's going to be 4 p.m. See? So this is how you could do it. You could go in here and set these up. You can see the timing coming up on here. And this will set them to be registered for those times. And it will be filterable. So you can tell which people come in at what time. And that email will go out when they register for that. So you can set those timings up in there as well. So super cool. But let's have a look what's happening on the calendar. So here's our calendar page. I'm going to refresh this now. And what you're going to see is we're going to get the lives come up here. They're in the pink colours, one-to-one bookings. So if someone got to your calendar, they could click it and go, ah, that's good. I'll register for that. It's on Sunday at 4 p.m. GMT. And that's good. Or I want to click that one and that one appears there. Okay. So that's how the calendar works. Right. So the last thing I want to do is I want to go down here and I want to make it secret and I want to click update. So remember, you can still send that link out to people to register. You can still send this register. They can register. But let's have a look at the calendar now. and nothing's there. Can't see anything. Right, it's disappeared. So that is how that can kind of work inside there. So hopefully that's clear for you. So now what I want to do, I've made it secret. And now what I want to do is I want to jump into a course. Remember, this one-to-one is called Zenler Family. So I'm going to jump into one of the courses because I just want to show you where the block is. I'm going to come into this course here. I'm going to go into the curriculum. And inside here, I have, let's go and set up a new lesson in this area. So I'm going to go and set up a lesson in here, add a lesson. Let's move this by dragging it up the top here. And I'm going to call this live on Sunday. So Sunday was 4 o'clock, right? So let's save that. Let's go add a live, and this will come up, and we're going to go one-to-one bookings here, and click done. Right, so you can see that this is set up for the 5th on Friday, but because it is part of the same live, right? It means that when this one's run, people will be able to see that, they'll be able to book their spot, they'll get the reminders, and they can jump straight into it. But it means when that live's finished, for the Saturday live, it will take its place. And again, they can book their spot for that. So if I save this, we'll just preview what your user would see. And I've actually I'm logged in as a test user here. I'm on as a test, as a student, right? I'm looking at this as a student now. And this is what you need to do. So it's not just in there. So you see, I'm in that course. There it is there. So look, if I click inside here, I can get into this. Oh, I'm not logged in. I can log in there and I can see that like this. Here we go, and here it goes. So when they get on this page, they will then be able to go, oh, okay, this is the first one which comes up, but they can select the other ones inside here. So this could be something, did you guys know that? Did you know that if you set up multiple schedules, they are, even though it's part of one live, they get the option to choose which one. So it's almost like breaking up. So what will happen with cloud recording if you did this? Well, as soon as you run any of these sessions, they are cloud recorded and they will go up. So if you've got inside of your live, this one live, let me just jump back out. Let's jump back out. Come on, let's get in here. And if you run all 3 of the lives that you've set here, in the cloud recording, all 3 live sessions will appear in here for you to download. It will download and cloud record all 3 of your sessions. So you can jump in there. Plus, inside your live class, your people will be able to go in and select which ones they want to go to. And they can book all of them if they wanted to. They could book my spot, they could jump to the next one, book the spot, jump to the next one, book the spot. So they can do all of those things, right? So that is multiple schedules. So let's now jump to cloning. So once you've got this set up and you spent a lot of time working on this, getting your emails sorted out, you can just click these 3 dots and you can click clone. So you can set a date for this. I'm going to set, let's set it later. Let's put it on 30th and just click clone. Oh, it's going to ask me time zone. Of course, certain things you need to fill out again. You set your time and click clone. And it will clone all of that page information. So we've got our copy, we can change it here. New live, okay, can put in there. You could set up a new schedule inside here. So it doesn't clone schedules because it's obviously not the same date. So you need to set those up. But you've got a new URL in here. So you can change that URL as well. So if I change that URL, you don't have to keep that. And you can make sure you turn cloud recording on. Choose your type. I'm going to click update. And this will then be reflected in here. You can say it's changed the URL, new live, because I put it in there. Sometimes a lot of people leave it as copy because they forget to change the URL inside that area. So this is now a new live. And if we go into the pages of that live, you're going to see that it's got the same style as we created before. So we've got to create no extra work. We've got the date there. It's super quick. Even in the automations area, we come in here and you're going to see in the automations that you have the automations all set up the same way that you set them up before, even with the tag, even with the notify email in there. So it sets it all up for you. So cloning is really, really powerful. The only thing you really got to do is just reset up those dates that you need. Okay, you might want to go into the pages and change the images out, change the text, but then you're set to go and those cloud recordings will be in there. Right, so that is single sessions plus multi-sessions. So something I want to look at now is recurring sessions. So if we click recurrings are like if you wanted to, right, it's going to say all registered users. Actually, there's none because I've cloned it, but we're going to click OK. And recurring is a session like a multi-session. So if you've got a group of people and you're running like maybe 5 workshops over 5 days, you might want to use recurring to do this, right? Or events that you want to set up and just run with in the same style. This is what we do for Live Support Desk. It's exactly what we do for Live Support Desk. So you can go in here and choose recurring. You've got to choose the start time, so when, and we come down to this area. So you can set these up to be daily or weekly. In fact, when I run a day with Zenler, I set up daily and I set 3 sessions because they're editable, right? So let's say weekly we want to run it and repeat every month, okay? And as soon as you click that weekly, it will come up in here. And inside here, we're going to say, right, okay, so weekly, I want to run this every Monday, right? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, right? So Monday. Every Monday, I want this to run. I want it to run at a specific time that I can put it in there. But I'm going to set end after specific number. So this is a way that you can run a weekly event. Like I said, this is how we do live support. So end after specific number of occurrences. Now you can set 30 occurrences. So that's going to be 30 weeks worth of live set up by just doing it once, right? And that's what we do for Live Support Desk. So on Thursday, it's a reoccurring like this every Thursday at 4 o'clock. I'll just do the same way in here, right? 30, set it up in there. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time for the little button to click, I noticed. If Rakesh is watching this, that could be looked at, right? So when I click that button, you have to give it a little bit of time and then it will turn off, right? But this is now set up for 30 for Thursday, 30 sessions. Okay, 30 sessions. So I've got end after specific number of occurrences. If I only wanted 4 for 4 weeks, I just put 4 in there, right? Why use more than you need? You can view the occurrences here as well, but we'll look at it in a second. So if I viewed those, you'd see it in a second. So I've set up recurring. I'm going to click update now, right? And this is the cool thing, right? Because I've had this question before where people say, well, how can I quickly set these lives up and not have to do anything? So what you can do is you could set it once, 1 session every month. That would give you 30 months worth of sessions, and you can go and edit them. So you can edit them, make them more current. So you continually tap into this source of going in, taking one of the older lives and making it more current to when you want to run a live. So just to show you what's happening now, this is set up. I'm going to change the date in, I'm going to change the time in here to what we do for our live support desk. So I'm going to put it on to 4 p.m. Okay, so what we'll see in a second is view occurrences here. So I'm viewing occurrences and you can see these, all these dates say 2/21, right? Okay, so little hack for you. If you go edit occurrence settings, we've set that. Remember, it's 2/21. That's what I set it. I click in here and now I leave the 30 in here and I just click update in there and it should update. This is where it doesn't update, right? So remember, I clicked in there, I set that, that's set for view occurrences in here. So no, it hasn't worked. All right, so I'm going to show you something else then. What I'm going to do, right? If you make a mistake, this is really good for you guys to know, right? Because it happens. So I'm going to go single session. I'm going to go, yeah, whatever. Then I'm going to save it, update it. Then I'm going to go and set it as we want to set it. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to choose Thursday. I'm going to make sure I've got the right time this time, 4 o'clock. Okay, that's good. And now we're going to go in here. This is set at the right time now. I'm going to click recurring sessions. And we're going to click yes. And we're going to go in here. We're going to go specific number. I want 30. I want weekly in here. Set it for Thursday again, and then it will adapt that. Oh, it's changed to 225. That's strange. Weird. There we go. Watch that doesn't change, right? And then I'll set those two. Right, this is not my system. This is just, this takes time. So then that's done. Come on, hurry up. Right, good. That's at 4 o'clock. That's set. Come down here. Now we click update. Right, now there'll be 4 p.m. Right, just a little hack for you guys, because it happens and you're like, oh, what do I do? I've got to go in and individually change all 30 to 4 o'clock. So you can do it. You can switch back to single session, then switch back forwards, watch that. Now we're going to view the occurrences, and there will be 4 p.m. in here. Now, what's super cool about this is if you decide, oh, Thursday, that Thursday, I can't make it, you can just go delete. You'll delete it out, right? When you're looking at the live, the register page, it will show this one. As soon as this live's finished, it will then show the next one, like that. And if you look at our live support desk on tutorials, that's what's going to happen. So I'm going to go to our live support desk, lives that are set up, and I'm going to go to here, the next live stream session, right? I don't touch this. Like after we've run the live, it automatically updates to the next session. So if I click that, 1 day, 20 hours, 44 minutes, 40 seconds, right? On Thursday, when we've run this session, it will then go to next week. So it'll then show next week. I don't touch it. It just does it itself. So it's a really good one for you guys to sort of understand. And inside here, like I said, you can delete them, but also you can change them. So if, for instance, I don't want to run this at 4 because I'm busy, I want to run it at 12, I can click edit. I can go in here and I can click inside here and I can go, right, okay, I want to change it to 12 p.m. on that time. You know what? It's going to be a longer session. I think I'm going to change the time. I'm going to put it to an hour and I'm going to click update. So automatically, I've now changed the time. I've changed the session duration inside there. But it doesn't end there. You could change the day. So if I wanted to run another session at 6 p.m. on Thursday, I could come into here and I could go, right, okay, so that's on the 4th. I want to run this at 6. I'm going to run it 6 here, 6 p.m. That looks good. I'm going to click update. Now I've got 2 sessions running that day. So I've got one at 4 and one at 6. So I can come in here and I can edit these. And that makes it super cool. And when I've finished, I just close it. So if we look at this page now, you're going to see inside here that we're going to show that session. So open this up and you can see that's the next session. As soon as this session's finished, the next one will come up, which will be 4th of December at 6 p.m. And then it will revert to Thursday next week at 4 p.m, etc, etc. So this is a really good way to run reoccurring things, and that's what we do for our live support desk, guys. So hopefully that's made life a bit easier for you. So the last thing I want to show you is inside Zoom itself. And when you start your session, you click start. You can start 15 minutes before. So if I've got a session set for 12 p.m, I can start the Zoom session from inside my lives by going in here and 15 minutes before I can click start. Try to start 15 minutes before the actual time. Don't start 2 minutes, 5 minutes before. Try and start 15 minutes before, because it gives you a chance to take control of your Zoom interface before people come into it, right? So really important, this one, because a lot of people, they just turn up or they hit live at 12, or they're late even, and there's no link. People are clicking, they can't go through to it. If you give yourself a bit more time, it's good, and Zoom allows you to do that. So it allows you to start the session 15 minutes before. Right, so sometimes you're running a session and it runs late. So if it runs late, don't panic when it gets, so if it's finishing at 2 p.m, don't panic. Just try and wrap up within 10 minutes of the end. So if you can get to like 1:45, 1:50 and you're wrapping up, is good. If you're wrapping up when you hit the time that it finishes, understand that Zoom gives you an extra 15 minutes. It's a little bit of buffer time before the live starts and after it finishes. So it gives you that time. So we've had it many times before where we've overrun and it just cuts off. And it happens because sometimes you get really caught up with what people are saying and you're listening to their question and you're trying to answer them and you're like, I forgot the time, and it just cuts off. So try and do that as well. Try and wrap up like 10 minutes before you're supposed to finish, so that you know that if it goes on a little bit more, you're going to be covered. It can happen really easily. Right, so what I'm going to do now is start a session. You hit start session. So I'm going to now start a session. I'm not going to go through Zenler's Zoom because there's no point, just start a session. So I'm just going to create a meeting here. I just want to look, this is the Zoom interface, right? So inside here is our Zoom interface that we can go. So inside here, I want to just go through a few things inside of the settings inside Zoom. So I'm in Zoom. If you click the little bar, I'm going to start this session so I can show you, because some of you don't know how to get to this part. So I can show you from starting a session. So I have a camera that's a Brio camera. It's not this camera you're looking at here, which should show you. So I'm going to start this session. Here it is. Here it is here. Here's the session, right? Notice it's not right. So if we've got this session, what it does, it comes up with this little display before you start. It allows you a little bit of time to set the right microphones and stuff, the right select the speaker that you're going to use, the microphone that you're going to use inside here. I've got the Brio one in there, and yeah, set it in there, select the camera, so the camera in there. And I'm not live on anything yet, right? I'm just starting this up. This happens for you guys as well. When you hit start, we're then going to go into the workspace. So my workspace has appeared on my other screen. Let me just bring it across. So this is the workspace. Okay, so this is what you might be familiar with. So if you want to get to the settings, we can go to the little speaker, the little badge here, and you can see that there's a few things. This is the settings here, this little button in the corner. See that little gear icon? But down here is called an invite link. If you've already started the session, I could send this invite link to you guys now, and you would be able to jump in. I'm not going to, but you would be able to jump into this live then. So it's like an instant, like boom. And you can even send this invite link out before the start time. So if I'm starting I'm starting a session at 12 and I actually start the session at 11:45, I can send this link out to my co-host, like Kevin, come in, right? Or I send it out to anybody, Alice, and then she can come in here, and we're in here together before everybody else is joining at the 12 o'clock. Okay, so that's one thing inside there. So let me go to the little gear icon here, and this will bring up my settings for Zoom. So if you guys haven't let's go. So here's my settings for Zoom. So inside here, you have video and effects. So you can choose the correct camera inside here. You want to make sure HD is turned on. Hopefully you've all got HD cameras, yeah. And inside here you've got things like touch up the appearance, all of these things. Virtual backgrounds, if you've got virtual backgrounds picked, you can see my virtual background now. I could swap it out to that. I could blur, that's my normal background blurred, or I can turn it off and you can see like that. That's what's really happening here, right? But I would go back to that. Okay, so I'm alphaed out. So that is that part. So the audio, you always want to check your speakers, make sure there, and make sure the mic's working nicely inside there as well. Okay, so these are things that you should definitely check out. So if you have a problem with sound, some people do when they come in, just go there, go there, click that little go right. Okay, why haven't I got any sound? Go into audio, make sure that your correct microphone is picked and that it's moving like this. And if it's not, just select the right microphone. Okay, I've got two here, just make sure it's moving again. Don't pick, if you pick the wrong one, like that one, then you're not going to see, oh, I've got a ton of microphones. So even cable will work. But if it's not doing anything, you know you're not being picked up, right? So that's a good way. If your video is not coming over, go into this area, make sure you've got the right camera picked inside there so that you're showing up. Okay, these are just like things that you should do. So I'm inside here, and when I start a Zoom session up, I go through these. So I basically go through these. This is what I do every time you guys come on. So I'm going inside here, I'm unmuting like this, like this. If I leave these all checked, it means you guys could come in here, you could start your camera, you could share notes, you could share screens, you could cause chaos, right? So what I've done now is I've locked it all down. How long did that take me? 10 seconds? Right? So I've left chat on so you guys can chat. So that's how that can work. So enable waiting room. You can enable the waiting room as well if you want to. You've disabled the waiting room, so that puts people into a waiting room so they could jump straight in. Okay, so you can enable it, and you can enable it. And what I also do is I open up chat and I open up participants, and that way I can see you guys coming in and inside there. When I've got someone else in here, I can go on the three little dots and I can actually make them co-host to join me, and co-hosts can turn their cameras on and unmic themselves and share screens, etc. So that's really important as well. So that inside here, and you'll also notice when you have it that it will be cloud recording will be on, and you'll just better pause it or restart it up the top here. It will appear up the top. That is kind of it. I'll also notice down here you can change your audios and stuff inside here as well. Okay, so you can go to the videos, change the video cameras inside there as well. So two locations. We do have that quite a lot of people coming in and their mic's not working and they start looking around, where is it? So that's a really easy place to find it down there. But for more finesse and control, you want to be going to the settings area inside there. Okay, and I'm running this as a test here. I'm just running it as a little test. I often do this. Zoom gives you that ability to be able to just start these little sessions just to try them out. So I don't need to do anything. I can just do a new meeting like this and jump straight in and just test that my setup's all working correctly. Okay, so yes, here we go. So Linda's saying it's a little bit laggy. Don't know, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. Be better on the replay if you need to catch up. Okay, so I'm going to have a look at the questions and then we're going to wrap up because I think I've covered literally one last thing I just want to show you. Now I've got live set up. Let me just jump into here. Right, I want to show you one last thing, and this is site pages. So we got some lives already created inside here. Okay, and I'm just going to double check that they are public. Let me just make sure they're public. That one's public, good. I'm going to change this card out for something else. So let me just put, it doesn't really matter what it is. I'm just going to change it so it looks different and put that in there. So this is one-to-ones, all right? And we're going to jump back to, let me just update. I just want to make sure the other one's public as well so that they both show. Okay. And then I just want to show you the little block. It's not something I've used for a long time, so it's secret. I'm going to make it public. Okay, right. So let's go into our pages. Remember, we've got 2 live types now in one-to-one bookings. Okay, this one's finished. So we're going to go into site. I'm going to jump into that page that we built, and I'm just going to show you a block. So I'm going to edit this page, and we have these blocks that allow you to show lives that are going on. And if we go into blocks here, you can see that it says live classes in here. And I think this is just going to show the live classes, right? I don't think it's going to show the one-to-one. I don't think we did it for that. No upcoming live classes. All right, let me just drop all these blocks in. So live classes, live webinar. All right, okay. So it's not going to work for one-to-one, but it will work for live thingies. Right, 2 seconds. This is how quick you can set these things up. So I'm going to go to live classes. Let's create a live class. Okay, done. I'm not going to bother with that at the moment. Just to demo this to you. You've got different blocks as well for different things. So let's click finish. Okay, that's done. Okay, so I'm going to save this. Now I just set up a live class. So let's preview this. So live class shows here, right? So if I added a webinar in here, it will also appear. So these are nice little blocks. So if I put a live webinar in, let's create a live webinar, do that quickly. Let's do it for that date. Okay, let's just choose a okay. Put the one in there. Okay, and save that. Choose a template. And we're set. Okay. Let's preview that. So now what you're going to do is you're going to see that the webinars are showing. So if I create more webinars, they'll show on there. And you can see live classes. So we haven't got interactive webinars in this area. We just got webinars and the live classes that you've got going on inside here as well. But this could be really cool for you because you might want to put these live classes in a course. So you could drop that same block into a course that you've got. So you've got the live class block and you could use that. There's 2 different types. There's one with like a filter and there's one like without. So you've got these 2 different types inside here. Okay, so list view and grid view. Okay, so you've got these list views and a grid view of it. So just a little bit extra, and obviously look at all the lives showing up here inside the calendar because we set those up. So they can also book via here as well. So if they click here, they can see those. So on the calendar part down here, they could click and view that inside there as well, right? So they can click those and view those and book there. So hopefully this should answer everything that you need. So the question that did come up was like, how can I have like set times individual? So reoccurrings are really good because you can set up exactly when you want things to run. But it doesn't it basically gets everybody in there, right? So that's the big takeaway for reoccurrings. With the schedule, you're going to need to set it up manually. And I think with some people that was a problem, because it was like, well, I've got to set up manually each time, but I want kind of booking slots to go in. So this might be something that Zenler looks at. In fact, definitely will be, because on all these big areas, they tend to make these changes. It has come up at least 3 times in the last sort of 2 months on the group. So I think that it's a serious thing that will be considered into the platform itself. But it's been really good. Hopefully you guys have learned a lot from it and you understand, because I've gone into every single little bit here, right? So we're going to compile this transcript and we're going to create a blog behind it, right? And I'm going to add it to this live so you guys can see it. And that way you can just go through it. But have a look at the video. If you don't understand it, if it was laggy for you on the stream, it's probably your internet, because I got super fast, right? So it's probably your end, but you can watch it on the replay later. This replay will go onto our YouTube channel as well. So I'll make sure I drop that in there. So it'll be super cool. All right. So I can see Rakesh is with us today. Good to see you, Rakesh. Very busy, Rakesh, at the moment. So it's good to see him. So you have to set public as visibility when you create a live class to be able to show up on the block live classes. Yeah. But it should show up if you have it in a course. So have it in a course and you could drop that block in there. That's what I tend to use it for, really. I'd like a little bit more features with that, but I'm kind of like a bit like that. So I like to create my own blocks, to be honest, but if you're going to use it, I think a really good place to use it would be actually in a course, right? Because visually it looks really nice and people can still go in there, book their spots. So a lot of detail. Yeah, that's why it's Sarita. I wanted to cover every kind of little bit. I'm sure there's other things as well, but we're already running at 1 hour 47 minutes, right? It's a lot to cover. There's so many different things. I could talk about it for another 4 hours, but I'm not going to, right? So Roger's good. So yeah, Roger's really working with lives, so it's really good. He was another one that was saying about lives and setting them up, and that's why I did this. And there's a few other people that I hope will see this. I'm going to tag them in. If you see anyone in the chat asking about lives and you think this would be valuable, can you just give them a shout out? That'd be super cool. There's loads of comments. I look, any questions that come in here that I look afterwards, I will reply to those. All right. I'm sure Rakesh has replied to lots anyway. But guys, really good to see you today. Thanks for coming in here. I know it was lastminute.com, but I really wanted to get this out. This is a micro workshop, right? This is the way we're going now. We're going to be running lots of like these really in-depth micro. Most of them you're going to be able to come into. This was an exception because we were showing Zoom. And you know, we can't invite you into a Zoom session when I'm running it through OBS, right? It doesn't work. So most of the micro workshops, there'll be a lot more time before, right? We'll give you at least a week's notice, right? Rather than sort of a few hours. But I really wanted to cover this today. It's the first one of the micro workshops that we will be running. Kevin's looking after that, and there will be a lot of those, with the main thing to keep you guys happy. So we're going to be really monitoring what you guys put into the Facebook group. And if we think, you know, there's a lot of these questions coming up, we need to run a workshop, we will do just that, like we did today. So Rakesh was like, yes, we need to be doing this. The other thing we need to be doing is talking a little bit more about the feature, gamification, and leaderboard. So I'm hoping that Kevin's going to come in and do one of those. I think that would be brilliant for you guys to actually see stuff in action and how you set stuff. It's pretty simple, but it's like all these things, you need to be doing it. And you sometimes need to watch a little bit first. My biggest tip to you is have a play. You can't mess anything up. You don't have to hand those links out, right? You can go in and you can test it for yourself and you can see how it works. And that, to be honest, is the best way to learn, right? I can talk all day at you, but if you don't do it, you're not going to learn. So have fun with it, play around, try and, you know, get inventive with it. Understand that you can clone things, saving you a ton of time as well, right? People don't use clone enough. There's clone everywhere. You can clone anything and everything inside Zenler. Get cloning, get copy and pasting, and you'll be good to go, guys. So I'm going to end this session now. Really good to see you. Thanks for all the amazing questions. I'm going to go through these and answer them after I just have a big drink of water. All right. See you later, guys. Take care.